Always warm with organizations like that. I am definitely warm by that, Zanele. It is fantastic. 67 blankets. We need to help them at whatever cost. It's going to be fantastic. But for now, yes, in Cape Town, very warm because you know what? We need to give you weekend plans. JP Sebastian is here to review a few of the movies releasing tomorrow. So let's get straight into it, shall we? And start off with a movie that I've heard about with a lot of hype. A lot of award hype as well as Maria.
I mean, of course, I've heard all of this kind of hype too. I think it's nominated for 1 Oscar for cinematography.
Yes.
Obviously, Angelina Jolie. Interestingly, every time she was nominated in the past, and she's not this year, she won every nomination. So, yeah, clearly an actress who, I don't need to tell you, everything in her hands.
Yes.
She really, even if stuff like, say, Tomb Raider is a bit corny or whatever, she knows what she's getting into and she's, like, committed. And here, commitment. Maria Callas?
Yes, the opera singer.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's the correct word. Opera singer sounds so cheap for like someone as great as Maria Callas.
Operatic visionary.
There you go.
Done.
Call hype man.
I am the hype man here.
And rightly so. The woman in real life, even if you're not an opera fan like myself, or you put on Maria Callas and you go, I get this. Deep in my nerves and my bones, I get this. And so as part of the commitment that Angelina Jolie gives, she trained for 7 months and actually attempts the singing of Maria Callas, but fortunately for her, after the heyday. So the heyday singing in this movie, because this is just her in her twilight, really. Her days in Paris as she's retiring. The majority of the heyday kind of music, of her height, of her zenith, is 90%, 95% recordings. But respect to Angelina Jolie. Now, some people might sneer and go, "Oh, you couldn't do that, dude. You couldn't do the voice." It's like, if you want to make the running movie and you want to train to be Usain Bolt, singing in Emilia Perez, that's doing pop songs, you could say, yeah, those people are doing badly. But to try and stand up to Maria Callas, props to Angelina Jolie for investing this way. Now, another really important name there is, I don't know if you heard of Pablo Larraín, but you might have seen some of his movies. Okay. You might remember that there was that Spencer movie with Kristen Stewart where she plays Lady Di.
Yes.
There was also Jackie, about Jackie Onassis, JFK's widow. With
Getting a trend here.
So yeah, and so this one completes, in a sense, a spiritual trilogy of what is referred to as the Women in Heels trilogy. So there's hype, sure, but it doesn't necessarily hit the same spot as previous big swingers. Like, I thought Spencer was very good, but the guy's got a good eye. Watch No as well. It's a hard movie to look up, obviously, but Pablo Larraín, good director. Angelina Jolie, great actor.
Maria, let's go to Companion. Is another movie. I actually haven't really heard of this one.
No one has. Why is this movie being so undermarketed? Maybe there's just too much, like, the timing is bad in the season, but critics are coming back with high scores. And even randos of the public are like...
I mean, I know Jack Quaid from The Boys.
I haven't gotten into The Boys yet.
Yes, but
she is from another show, Yellow Jackets. She plays the teenage version.
I haven't watched that either. Okay.
We are two uncles over here. Umalume is trying to get into Companion, which, like I said, I have not seen enough on the radar about, despite both critics, the cream of the crop and the snobs, and also just the random public going, this is pretty interesting. And after like a run of, Megan the Robot, you had Blink twice being trapped on the island, you had The Menu being trapped in the restaurant on the island.
Yes.
I feel like, I don't know when Earth gets tired of allegories and eventually just goes, shouldn't we just give all women guns? like every movie's like, boo, but what if? So it's another one of those stories. Similar this time, however, the character plays something like an AI robot sex bot, if you can just put it plainly like that. And the man has the power to even change a level of intelligence, as you just saw there. And so it's one of these interesting games and these questions. I think, interestingly, it tries to bring in, while we're talking about AI now and America imploding because of DeepSeek, you've got this interesting question about, well, how much of us is in AI, and thus how much of male toxicity is in AI. So it tries to induce a more interesting conversation, and because it's the people who worked on, I don't know if you saw Barbarian, that was really good, really interesting. Do try and see Barbarian from like 2 years ago. It also apparently does like this halfway through twist where you're just like, nah, everything you thought is wrong. So yeah, Companion on my list of to-do.
Love it. We can do a throwback here. Truman Show. I was shocked to see this on your list.
At certain cinemas, I won't name, you can look it up for yourself, but I have to put it on the list if it's coming up.
Love this movie.
A masterpiece.
I feel like it's it's ahead of its time. It's way ahead of its time.
Tell us how, Carl.
Because think about the way we are living right now. We are living in a world, we are consumed by this concept of reality TV, which is actually taking the human condition, and it's portraying
Commodifying it,
yes,
and abusing it,
yes,
and turning us into livestock.
But that's,
I mean, who could imagine sitting in a
great.
fake lounge selling people stuff? That would be crazy.
I mean, imagine.
So, the Truman Show, just to get people up to date,
Yes,
obviously they know
please.
the synopsis by now. Jim Carrey, from birth to adulthood, does not know that he's trapped inside a reality show. There's this gigantic dome that's built on top of Hollywood. There are 5,000 cameras everywhere. Ed Harris is so strong, such a good actor. And let me tell you, with this interesting movie about people trapped in Plato's cave, you can look that up on your own time, this was a year before The Matrix. And in effect, Jim Carrey is Neo in this, breaking through the veneer, breaking through the... look, JP can get as deep as he likes. Look at you.
What do you just do?
I could go down the rabbit hole into Plato's cave with you on this. It's masterful in terms of, do you want to talk about Baudrillard, the philosopher, maybe? Hyper-reality? It is, like you said, anticipates so much of us, thinking that we're crafting selves on social media, but only to be curated by corporations. It's a gross and scary message, but it's a magnificent film, and it's worth seeing on the big screen, definitely. I think it's out for a couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you
Try and catch
so
the
much.
Show,
You know, we ran out of a little time, but if you can, nutshell Flight Risk.
Nutshell,
In a nutshell.
Flight Risk,
I know
starring
it's tough because it's a Mel Gibson movie.
famous racists, Mel Gibson and Mark Wahlberg. I do not care. Yeah, you got a dude who's a mystery pilot on a plane with a marshal who's carrying a prisoner, but trouble ensues in the air. Find out for yourself, Mark
Done.
Wahlberg.
Thank you so much. That's exactly what a nutshell. That's what it sounds like right there. So those movies out. Enjoy your weekend and catch those movies, including a throwback Truman Show. It is a masterpiece.
It really is.